back again.
We made it.
We sure did. All the way to Spooksville.
All the way to Spooksville.
I mean, I guess that's tomorrow, but... Or at least it will be by the time this airs.
Yeah.
Time travel.
If only it were that easy.
Right? All right. So, today we are talking about a cryptid from our own backyard.
Yay.
We are speaking about the White River Monster. As far as I know, she doesn't really have a, cool name.
Oh, I think he's just the White River Monster.
I mean, that's fair.
Yeah.
They call Nessie the Loch Ness Monster.
Yeah.
But anyway, as we mentioned before, we're from Arkansas in the White River area. And there are persisting reports of an unidentified something. It's even made it on TV. It's legit.
Is it River Monster?
Yeah, River Monsters or something to that effect.
Animal Planet or something.
Professional fisherman. He goes out and tries to hook aquatic nasties of legend. I don't know why.
Legendary river and lake monsters.
Yeah, I don't know why you'd want to hook
Just like
something.
He's trying to catch Pokemon or something.
Yep. I don't know why you'd want to do that. They're terrifying. But anyway, so
who are you? Where are we?
I'm Billy. This is Geektrasil.
Yay!
That's Amy.
Hello.
She's my wife. That's the cat.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. She's in the room. You might hear her every once in a while.
She's trash, but she's not a cryptid.
She's a good girl.
She is the best cat.
She's objectively the best cat.
But anyway, so White River Monster. There have been a few possible culprits as far as the sightings go.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard some interesting things. Big horse.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how I feel about big horse.
I've heard catfish.
Now, if you're not familiar with catfish, they can become very big.
They are big fish.
Like if like a truly big catfish brushed up against my leg, I'd be done. I'd die right there. Like I just have a heart attack.
You might. They eat other fish.
Yeah, they are legitimately large enough. Some of them that I've seen. I mean, it would be uncomfortable for the fish, but I could fit inside.
I'm curious. What's the biggest catfish that they've ever found? Biggest?
I don't know.
I'm gonna look it up.
We do have native catfish. In the White River area. What about
9 foot long?
9
caught
feet
in northern Thailand.
Okay.
It weighed 646 pounds. Oh my
Okay.
gosh.
That's a monster in its own right.
In the United States, the flathead catfish at 123 pounds was caught in 1998. It was 61 inches long. So that's the biggest in the United States. That's where we would be. So we don't have the biggest in the world, but we got some big uns.
Yeah, we do have some quite large.
600 pounds. That's
big.
Terrifying. But I mean, they just keep growing.
Yeah.
As long as they've got enough food to sustain them, they keep going. So.
They just keep eating and keep growing. And that's a big thing with a lot of the aquatic cryptids, is people say, oh, things that large can't be, but if it doesn't die, a lot of these things just keep going.
Going and
if it doesn't they don't have a quote unquote maximum in some regards. But anyway, specifically White River Monster, I've heard stories of people being out in like their bass boat fishing, and like they pull up to this quote unquote island or little berm or whatever you want to call it, out in the river, thinking, hey, it's like a little sandbar, and pull up to that, do whatever. But I heard a story where Somebody pulled up to what they thought was a little island sticking up out of the river, and it swam away.
Surprise.
Yeah.
That's really scary, though.
Yeah, it is. And that's. I mean, not that there aren't horses in the White River. There are definitely. I've seen
So
horses.
there's all kinds of stuff. So if y'all don't know, the White River is a larger river that runs through Arkansas, and it probably does it branch off into other states.
I don't actually know where the White River ends up. I think it probably winds up in the Mississippi.
It does eventually end up. All rivers eventually wind up in the Mississippi.
Feels like it sometimes.
But I don't know if it goes directly to the Mississippi or if it hits the Arkansas River first. I'd have to look it up. But it's a major river that runs through where we actually happen to be.
Yeah.
And the White River monster originally was seen in Newport, and that's where a lot of like sightings come from, is mainly Newport.
Okay.
Which I'm glad we aren't in Newport, because I don't want to see a river monster all the time.
That would be a little bit draining. I'm not gonna lie.
I would not be going across that bridge very often.
Well, I mean, as long as it's the kind of monster that only eats boats, then. Now, that being said, I would be the world's best driver on a bridge if I thought I could fall off and encounter a river monster. Like I'd be creeping. Like, captain speed limit or below. And I drive fast, normally. Dadgummit, I hate aquatic things.
I know.
Anyway, so we actually have a running bet with a friend of ours regarding the identity of the White River monster.
Yep.
So why don't you tell us a bit about that theory?
So there is a theory out there that the White River monster is actually an elephant seal?
Yeah.
An elephant seal that is accidentally got stuck in the river somehow, made it swam all the way up from the ocean and made it up into the White River, which is ridiculous. They would have to be so lost to do that. Somebody needs to find it and catch it and set it free back where in its natural habitat, because this is not natural habitat. I don't know what it's living off of.
I mean, yeah, I would be lying if I really said I knew what the diet of an elephant seal looks like.
I feel like it's a lot of saltwater things and not a lot of
freshwater
things.
If
have a lot of,
if it adds ketchup, the catfish tastes just the same.
That's not, no.
That is not true. Ocean fish do
thing.
taste different, but
no, but it's a fun idea in that if it was an elephant seal, that would be kind of cool to see an elephant seal, because we don't have those around here. That's kind of, I guess you could call an exotic animal to us.
Mm-hmm. It's kind of like my first time seeing a manatee.
Yeah, but I would believe a manatee before I believed an elephant seal.
Right. I mean, manatee are still saltwater natives.
But they've been known to venture into fresh water.
They enjoy fresh water.
Yeah. Problem is, so do boats.
Yeah, so do boats.
And that's the sad thing. These poor manatees. Y'all save the manatees. They're so cute and so good.
And if you've ever been close to a manatee, they're huge. I mean, and elephant seals are the same way.
Just big old sea cows.
Yeah, but if you're out there in a canoe, I mean, they don't mean to, but they run into you, you're going to tip over. It looks like a monster if you're in a small enough boat.
They don't know how big they are.
That's true. They're adorable. They're lovely. I love them.
There's literally nothing wrong with manatees.
No, but anyway, if anybody manages to snap a picture of a elephant seal in the White River, we win our bet, and our friend has to move back here.
Yeah.
So
they sure do.
Be sure to circulate those photos if you get them.
Send them to us.
Do it.
We need it. It's very important.
Super important. And right now, I don't know if it's a record low, but the White River is actually quite low.
It's very low.
In a lot of places. So
I have only lived in this town for since 2012. So I've been here about 10 years and I've never seen the river this low. It's ridiculous.
I'm an area native. Like, well, I mean, like 45 minutes away when I grew up, but like I've been around this area my whole life, and I don't know if I've seen it lower. It wasn't by much. Um, so right now would actually be a fantastic time for this thing to be found, whatever it is.
Yes. And we haven't had a whole lot of storms recently.
Right.
So there's not a whole lot of debris in the river either. That's the other thing. Like it could just be debris that people are misidentifying
Yep.
along with like the movement of something under the water and they think, oh my goodness, it's a white river monster when really it's just some stuff floating in the river.
Yeah, and I don't know what it is about mariners. They get in a boat and suddenly everybody's hysterical and superstitious. uh, but you know the story about the guy who came up, you know, to the island and they're sticking out of the river. I mean, he could have just dislodged some debris and it floated away. And
He very well could have.
you know,
Because there's, I mean, like most rivers, there are trees that, like big trees that go up right onto the bank. So there's not a whole lot of like stuff to hold that tree together. And when a big storm comes in, it just wipes it right into the river and everything gets floated away and it breaks apart. And
we get driftwood
yeah.
and if you've ever seen driftwood, it's a very smooth surface a lot of the time. And like, I mean, big enough piece of driftwood from the right angle or far enough away, you know, there's something over there,
yeah.
something fishy. um, but yeah, so what were some of the other ideas as to what it could be? I've heard catfish, I've heard horse, I've heard elephant seal, which that was out there for me.
I think I've heard somebody say sturgeon, but I actually do not know if there is sturgeon in the White River or not.
So
I guess I could look
there
that up, too.
are sturgeon in the Mississippi, I believe. I'm not sure actually about the Arkansas River. I definitely feel like sturgeon are as plausible as an elephant seal, to be honest.
Yeah.
And sturgeon get to be quite large, also.
Yeah.
I don't know that I don't think they quite eclipse that world record catfish. Typically, but they can be many feet in length. And they actually have sort of a creepy looking head.
Yeah, no, they do. Just because they're such an old species, they just look very...
Yeah, they didn't have the decency to die with the Mosasaurus.
No.
I know. Time frame's not necessarily the same. Don't crucify me in the dinosaur realms. But
I don't
know either.
Let me
But
see.
so
I'm seeing that some people just call it whitey.
Whitey, that's cute.
Yeah, it's cute, but I don't know. Let's see.
So, speaking of sturgeon are actually a contender for a number of river monsters throughout
River, lake,
yeah,
all kinds of stuff. Sturgeon are creepy looking fish.
yeah. I mean they do look
big.
I mean it looks like somebody just slapped a dinosaur face on a fish.
Yeah. Thing about the White River monsters, I've never really heard anyone describe it as a snake-like creature.
No.
It's always just been like this big monstrous fish, which is kind of different from, like we mentioned, Champ before.
Mm-hmm.
And
it does seem like a lot of things wind up being serpentine in nature.
And Nessie is a very serpentine-like neck and everything.
Yep.
But the White River monster isn't really known for that. I mean, they're usually... Like, if you've ever seen the fish, like that deep fish with the little light...
Oh, no. No.
Football fish. I think that's what they're... Well, that's not their scientific name, but that's what they're called. Those things are cool. I know you hate those because they're from like deep, deep down in the ocean.
Yeah, they're bigger than you think.
Mariana Mariana Trench.
I'm not sure exactly where they're native to. They're native to the
They're
water,
I know they're in there. They're
so I avoid
so
the water.
cool. But
Uh,
it's similar to that, but it's more of like that mixed with a sturgeon.
hmm
It's got the big, powerful jaws. It's sometimes got a light on it. It's got like the razor like
hmm
fins and everything.
Yeah, I mean it definitely is much more consistent with a type of fish.
I've
Or
heard alligator.
yeah, I mean we don't have a huge alligator population in Arkansas. There are some though.
No, that's more of like a Florida, Georgia kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I mean, I would believe an alligator getting lost and coming upriver before I believed an elephant seal.
Yeah,
I could see an alligator being mistaken.
yeah, I mean, in the grander scheme of things, it's not too far off of its natural habitat per se. Um, the there's definitely plenty of things that would be comfortable eating,
Oh,
especially if
yeah.
it was of a size.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it could. A lot of the White River backs up to farmland. So it could easily get a cow or something.
Small like calves, deer. We have an abundance of whitetail
Oh
deer.
my gosh, so many deer.
Like
It would be
there's
easy for it to find food, honestly. They don't
yeah.
eat that often anyway.
Any if the White River monster is if Whitey if Whitey is a
That's a weird name. I don't like that name for it.
that's fair.
They don't feel like a whitey.
No, if the White River monster is not strictly bound to the water, there and is carnivorous, there is an absolute overabundance of food just near the river. Like
Yeah.
it doesn't even have to come that far out.
Yeah, I think the only thing I've never heard of it coming up out of the river. I have heard of people finding like tracks on the bottom of the river where they think something has like scraped the bottom of it and they think that's the tracks of a big monster.
Okay,
But I mean, that could just as easily be a boat leaving tracks when it's low, when the
possibly.
water's low. So I don't,
I mean,
that doesn't hold a lot of weight for me.
yeah. I mean,
But I mean, something that sits on the bottom of the river
if
and
it
that kind of
was
slides along.
yeah, I mean, it kind of depends, I guess, on the pattern. Like, if it was a real wavy pattern, that would be something a boat
Right.
couldn't make. Um,
See, I
like-
haven't heard anything about.
yeah.
I didn't look deep enough to see what kind of shape the tracks were in. I
Well,
should have looked at that.
I mean, and that's another thing is that would be really hard to verify. You know.
True.
Um,
It's not exactly the clearest river water.
Oh no, it's not. And
It's definitely
uh,
just mud.
yeah, and like we mentioned earlier, like there's all kinds of debris in it. So I mean, there are a lot of things that could make tracks on the bottom. But the White River is it's very popular amongst local fishermen. There are people who kayak on it and its tributaries. So you know there's plenty of opportunity, and I'm really hoping this is the year. And it'd be great if it just happened to be around Halloween. Like we're going into the cooler months, so I'm kind of hoping some last minute, water goers will
We've
get
still
out
got
there and
people fishing.
oh yeah, there are
There
people.
will always be people
Yeah.
fishing. This is
It's almost like it almost can't be too cold
Yeah.
for people to fish here. We got some dedicated fishermen and women.
we sure do.
There's
Fisher folk.
fisher folk. I'm trying to think. The White River does connect to the Norfolk Lake, I believe it is.
I think so, yeah.
But there's a dam, so it's not like that the White River monster could just move back and forth between the lake and the river easily.
Right.
So
There are a few different dams actually on the White River.
yeah, and so it's unlikely that if you're a lake person, it's unlikely that you'll encounter the White River monster. But something, and this being in my own backyard for being so close, I don't know a ton about it, and that's in part because there's not just necessarily a ton of sightings.
Not in our area, there's not.
And they're
Like I
not
said,
popularized.
in Newport, there's definitely more. The White River, I think, is actually one of the least commercialized cryptids. So if you go, like, to see where Mothman is, they commercialize the crap out of that.
Yep. The most commercialization that the White River Monster has had is I've seen it represented in a city Christmas light display.
Oh yeah, you're right.
And that's pretty much it. Like, I've never seen a White River Monster t-shirt or anything like that.
Yeah, we don't really.
Which is sad.
Maybe if you go to like Game and Fish, you
Maybe.
might find something.
I don't know.
But like, it's not really.
I'd love to have a cool White River Monster shirt.
So it looks like the White River almost intersects with the Arkansas River right at the end, but it just goes straight into the Mississippi. It just nopes out like right at the end.
Oh yeah, it was like, let me think about that.
Never
Nah.
mind. So I mean, something could, but with all the dams that are around, it would be so hard.
Yeah, and there's actually there are actually a bunch of dams along the White River. So pretty much anything, like if it's primarily in Newport,
Yeah, so like a gator maybe could get around some of those dams, but
yeah,
really
some of them.
not all of them. I
Yeah,
don't think.
it would be pretty isolated to essentially the southern portions of the White River, and so I mean, there's I don't know, this definitely isn't one of those things where I'm like, it's a dinosaur.
I don't think so.
This is definitely a case of something that's probably legitimately large. That's, kind of, I don't want to even say misidentified.
And it
It's
could
just
be,
not identified.
It could be something where it's like a bunch of driftwood or something.
Yeah.
The story's been passed around forever. I think it's been around for about 100 years now, so it's had
Yeah.
a couple generations to kind of
And
grow
there,
the story.
there is an intersection between fishing and drinking. So,
Nah.
you know,
Yeah, there's definitely, at least around here, there are fishing competitions.
there are fishing competitions.
But there's more of just fishing for fun.
Yeah.
Just getting off work, grabbing a case of beer, going out on the river or lake, and
just
or even just down to the creek.
yeah, just boats full of good old boys with their 24 packs.
Yep.
And
that's totally fine too.
yeah.
They're allowed.
For sure. Just don't put those cans in the river.
Yeah, please don't. Oh my gosh. Please take care of your crap. If you take crap outside, take it back in. Be responsible.
Do it. But yeah, if you've had your own encounters with the White River Monster, let us know.
Or any other river monster.
Yeah, there are many rivers and
Many rivers, many
monsters.
lakes.
Yep. I don't like what I just said. Many monsters. I don't like it. I'm gonna think about something else now.
Okay, that's fine. I'll give you another monster to think about. It'll be fine.
Is this one aquatic?
Probably.
That's terrible.
I mean, it's either aquatic, land, or air. These are your options.
I like the other two.
Yeah.
There's also space. Space monsters.
You don't want to hear about space whales and stuff. That's a
Oh
whole
no, never mind. Space is also bad.
Space is way too close for water.
We're gonna nuke space.
No. Good luck. I mean, but no. Isn't
Yeah.
it like constantly nuking itself?
Oh yeah, space is so radioactive.
Space is so cool.
Space is super cool.
Super cool.
But yeah. So, White River Monster, ladies and gents. If you didn't know about it, you do now.
Yay. Sorry, there's not a whole lot of information, but it's a lesser known monster.
Yeah, and we kind of felt like we had to do it because it's our monster. So,
Gonna claim it for ourselves.
yeah, I mean, it's not the most exciting monster in the world, but
Well, hey, if
by
we
Lord,
ever
it's in
get-
our backyard.
If we ever get merch, we could do our own
That's right.
White River Monster.
White River
merch.
Monster T-shirt coming
Yay.
soon to a merch page near you. maybe.
Soon-ish. We'll figure it out.
By soon, we mean one day.
If you want it, let
eventually.
us know.
Yeah. Please let us know.
We'll figure out something for it.
Yeah, and then buy the thing once we make it. Don't let us make a bunch of stuff and then not buy it.
Oh, no, that'd be so sad.
Yeah,
Just be me alone with that one t-shirt.
and then just boxes of them in the closet or something.
Oh, sad.
Yeah, don't do that to us.
That's okay. We'll figure it out.
But anyway, thanks again for watching. This has been Geektrasil. I'm Billy.
I'm Amy.
Woohoo! Till next time. Peace.